All right, everybody. So today's video is going to be on Jonah Jackson. Now, Jonah Jackson is 26 years old. Now, the video I want to make is about should we give him a new contract? Because technically he is up for a new contract. Yes, he does have a contract for this year, and then he becomes a restricted free agent next year. But if you're going to play that game, the cost of keeping Jonah Jackson could go significantly up, where if you lock him in now, you might be able to get him at a halfway decent price. Now, granted, what I'm about to tell you is still crazy amount of money, but we are average people, so we don't see that type of money. But to these NFL players, I mean, what I'm about to say is almost like a normal. So before I get into what I feel that the contract extension might be, I want to give a little backstory to Jonah Jackson. Now, Jonah Jackson has only played in the NFL for 3 years for the Detroit Lions, and he was selected to Detroit, and in 2020, his rookie season, Jonah Jackson has played in 1,006 snaps. He had 5 penalties and 5 sacks in his rookie season. Now, in 2021, his sophomore season, he played in 1,037 snaps. He had 8 penalties and 4 sacks allowed. So it kind of went up on penalties, but a little bit down in sacks. And then he had a great, phenomenal year last year. I mean, yes, he didn't have that many snaps, but I mean, we were one of the best offenses in the league. And I mean, Jared Goff really wasn't down on the mat, because guess what? Jonah Jackson had 858 snaps, 4 penalties, and this is the most beautiful stat in the world: 0 sacks allowed in 2022. Yes, sir. 0 sacks for Jonah Jackson allowed in 2022. So in total, if you're following along, Jonah Jackson has 2,901 snaps, 9 sacks for 17 penalties, and he was on a 4-year, $4.8 million contract. That was his rookie salary. And to me, I mean, that totally outweighs the performance on to contract. So he gave us more production on less of a contract. Now, obviously, that means that he's going to look at that. His agent's going to look at that and be like, well, I want to stay in Detroit. I love the city of Detroit. I want to win a championship here. I want this. I want that in Detroit. So, I mean, this is where Brad Holmes, who we haven't really seen him do this as of yet, but he's never really had to do that as of yet. And that's pay his players. So that leads me into why you clicked onto this video. Now, if you're getting value of this video, definitely hit that thumbs up. Definitely appreciate it. So Jonah Jackson, my estimated extension will probably be around a 5-year, $100 million contract with a signing bonus of around maybe $25.5 million. Kind of think the same lines as Atlanta Falcons guard Chris Lindstrom. He got paid, I think it was 5 years, $102 million with a $27.5 million contract extension. I could see the same amount. Now, both of those are the same age, so I could kind of see similarities with that. Now, I mean, obviously, Jonah could be like, hey, look, just give me whatever, I mean, make it worth my while. but more give me on guarantees than the actual contract. I'd rather have my guarantees than the, size of the contract, because I know this is what I'm going to get. This is, what I'm going to get in 4 or 5 years. Now, I do think that he does get paid. But I do want to kind of keep an eye out for what Brad Holmes is going to do. I mean, 5 years, $100 million, or 5 years, $105 million, somewhere in that ballpark. I could definitely see it. Do I want him to? I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because, I mean, Jared Goff's contract could be up here relatively soon. He has a 2-year contract. So, I mean, we're going to have to pay him. Hint, hint, next video. And, so we got to make sure that we're wise with our money. As my pops used to always tell me, and he kind of still tells me, still to this day. And, hey, if you're watching, Pops, I appreciate you. But he always told me, a fool and their money will soon part. What does that mean when it comes to the Detroit Lions? If we're foolish with our money, we're not going to have no money. We're estimated to have roughly about $107 million coming next season. Now, if we don't sign anybody, or we don't go out, at the trade deadline and acquire more capital and things of that nature to deter from what we're going to get in next year's off season, so 1 year from today, then we'll have our $20 million that we currently are still sitting on, plus another 80, I think it was like 80 or $84 million. So we'll probably be, if not the most in the NFL as far as cap space. But if we're not the number one, we're probably within the top 3. I mean, $107 million, that's a lot. You've seen this year what the Chicago Bears did. Yes, I know, boo. Yeah, your boy's with you. But, you've seen what they did with 100 and something million that they had. So I could kind of see us not doing the same, because obviously we have guys now coming up for contracts. And you want to pay your players that you drafted. And what I mean by you drafted is Brad Holmes drafted. So with that being said, I definitely think that Jonah Jackson does get paid. Is it 5 years, $100 million? Could it be less? Could it be more? That's up to debate. I kind of have an inclination that he could get paid before week 1. Whether it's after preseason, before training camp starts, during training camp, somewhere from now until week 1, I do think that Jonah Jackson could get paid. So I definitely want to put this video out now, instead of waiting, because, you never know when this contract is going to come, but it's coming. Jonah Jackson will get a new contract. Hopefully it's with the Detroit Lions. Hopefully he could stay. I absolutely love Jonah Jackson. I might hate his college, because he's Ohio State. I'm Michigan now, but he's been phenomenal here. Same thing with Taylor Decker. I mean, I might not like his college, but he's been phenomenal here. So, hey, I appreciate those Ohio State Buckeye offensive linemen. Whatever they doing over there, well, hey, keep on doing it, because we need you here with the Lions. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What your thoughts? How much are you willing to pay Jonah Jackson, with keeping in mind that you still got to pay, Jared Goff, you still got to pay Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these other guys that are coming up on contracts. How much are you willing to pay Jonah Jackson? Are you willing to let him loose? Me personally, I won't, but let me know your thoughts. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Go Lions, one pride, baby. Peace. Hey, go lock up Jonah Jackson, please. Because, hey, we need him. If we're going to win a title, We need Jonah Jackson, period.